Hi, I'm Owen Canfield with the opinion page of the Oklahoman, here to talk about life at the Capitol with Mike McNutt, our chief Capitol correspondent. Mike, another crazy and busy week at the Capitol. The whole personhood thing took on a life of its own, pardon the pun, this week. It really got crazy and heated. Sum up for us, if you would, where that stands, and we'll move on to talk about the budget.
Well, right now, yesterday was the deadline day for Senate bills to be heard in the House. The Personhood bill was a Senate bill. As we talked last week, the Speaker, House Republicans had a caucus meeting. They decided by private polling they didn't want to have the bill brought up this session.
Right.
That brought this week a number of outcries from different religious leaders and pro-life groups. And there were a series of press conferences Monday and Tuesday. And finally, on Tuesday, one group, Oklahomans for Life, said not only will they be tracking regular pro-life bills, but even parliamentary procedures. So any parliamentary procedure vote to keep the personhood bill locked up would be considered an anti-pro-life bill, which is something that's really done.
Right. And
this really offended some of the House Republicans who have been staunch supporters of pro-life in the past since they took control of the House after the 2004 elections. So this really upset them. Yesterday, Tony Lowinger, the director of Oklahomans for Life, sent a letter to House Republicans apologizing, saying they shouldn't have done it. It was a bad tactic.
Right. They got caught up in it.
Caught up in the emotion. Sure. Meanwhile, today, Personhood USA, a national group which is working on an initiative petition to put it on the ballot this fall, issued a statement saying basically lauding efforts by Representative Mike Reynolds to try to get the measure back on the floor, who tried Wednesday and Thursday, and Thursday the session ended kind of in a raucous manner. Representative Reynolds tried again to get the measure down. This Speaker Pro Tem and the chair presiding over this House said, look, it didn't go through the right procedures. Right. The session ended as Reynolds kept shouting, trying to get that measure
high drama on the House floor.
And they actually had a voice vote on the adjournment, which is, normally it's just a voice vote on whether to adjourn. And now Personhood USA is using all the people who voted to adjourn, all the members who voted to adjourn as being anti-pro-life, and those who voted against adjourning as being supportive of the personhood bill. So they'll probably try to keep it going, but now that this phase, the policy bills mostly are in conference committee, so now they get a lot of attention and focus on the budget and the tax cuts.
Well, that's what you're talking about, policy, and that's really what is most important at the Capitol. And tax cuts are a huge issue this year. We don't have a lot of time. Sum up for us, if you would, where that stands.
There were 5 personal income tax cutting bills. We're down to 2. Both those bills now in conference committee. And they'll take all those ideas to reduce the income tax rate next year and then come up with a plan, whether they want to try to come up with a plan to reduce it over the next several years or just let future legislators decide that.
Right.
And with that, now we're seeing some concern about natural gas prices. They're a little lower, but Preston Dorflinger, the governor's Secretary of Finance and Revenue, says don't worry, they're aware of that.
Oh, okay.
But even though they're lower, that would not cause a revenue budget shortfall for the upcoming fiscal year because of the rising oil prices and sales tax increases. So they're concerned about it, but it's not a huge concern. And the Speaker says, despite that, they still think they can get some kind of a cut in the income tax rate next year.
Well, that'll all be hashed out in the last month of the session. Mike, thank you as always for being here. We invite you to read Mike's stuff every day in the Oklahoman and see it here on News OK.